Hey, how's it going, everybody? With everything going on, most of the news is negative, right? So I wanted to talk about something that's positive that's coming out of this. And there are a lot of other positives out there, but this is one that I saw on TV that really kind of made me want to talk about it. It was on the news earlier. Time Magazine picked it up. Let's read through it a little bit real quick and talk about this. And I'll talk about my feelings. Obviously, it's a good thing, so what else am I going to say but positive things, right? This Pennsylvania distillery owner has converted his production line to make hand sanitizer for charity. Just show his picture real quick. Chad Butters, it says here he's the founder of the Eight Oaks Farm Distillery. This is in New Tripoli, Pennsylvania. First off, Chad, fitting name, and we'll go ahead and talk about why this guy's a Chad in my opinion. A Pennsylvania distillery owner who grew increasingly angry as he saw the skyrocketing price of hand sanitizers has decided to do something about it. He's temporarily converting his operation into a production line for the suddenly hard to find gooey alcohol-based disinfectant. Eight Oaks Farm Distillery filled its first 20 bottles on Monday, a batch destined for charitable groups that need hand sanitizer but haven't been able to get it due to the coronavirus pandemic. The family-owned distillery plans to dramatically boost production this week and distribute the bottles to charities as well as offer them at farmers markets where it sells its spirits through its website. The price, whatever people decide to donate. And I think if people actually come out to these farmers markets and they're able to get their hands on a bottle, I definitely would imagine they'd be willing to pitch in $5-10 to help these guys continue doing this stuff. And I'll tell you more about that. Let's read a little more though and you'll see why. We're in a national emergency, said founder Chad Butters. What's the right thing to do? The right thing to do is to support this community by providing something that is in desperate need. We'll flood the valley with hand sanitizer and drive the price right down. Other distilleries are also putting their spirits to work to help fill the shortage of hand sanitizers. Green Mountain Distilleries in Morrisville, Vermont is giving away hand sanitizing solution, and Durham Distillery in Durham, North Carolina is donating one to hospitality colleagues using high-proof alcohol and other ingredients. Patients must bring their own containers. We wanted to do something that would be as positive as possible, said Harold Faircloth, an owner of Green Mountain Distilleries. Smuggler's Notch Distillery, hey, you gotta love the name, also in Vermont, plans to launch a hand sanitizer later this week at its Waterbury and Jefferson sites. A portion of the proceeds will be donated to Vermont's efforts to respond to the virus outbreak. I know I have an opportunity to help out a little bit and keep my staff employed, said co-owner Jeremy Elliott, who said 40% of his business comes from bars and restaurants, which are closing in some parts of the country. The Distilled Spirits Council of the United States, a trade group, has been in touch with federal regulatory agencies as well as the Trump administration's coronavirus task force to clear red tape and make sure we can be quick and nimble and fill the need in the marketplace, said Chief Executive Officer Chris Swanger. We all want to do our part. At Eight Oaks Farm Distillery, about 70 miles north of Philadelphia, workers experimented with high-proof alcohol, aloe, and glycerin to get just the right consistency. The recipe is based on one published by the World Health Organization. As word got out about what Eight Oaks was up to, the distillery began hearing from people and groups in need, including a pediatric cancer organization and a woman whose 12-year-old son has heart disease and was desperate for hand sanitizer to help keep him safe. I cannot find it anywhere, and this virus is especially dangerous for him, she wrote to the distillery. Stories like that are why Butters was so disgusted with price gougers who were selling sanitizers online for more than $300 an ounce, and why he decided to shift his company's focus. We're trying to make sure we continue to provide a paycheck for our employees and support our community however way we can do that, he said. Now, when I was watching this on the news, and this was the cool part, like he said right here, they have 25 employees at the distillery there at Eight Oaks, and they've been able to keep them all on staff, so they're keeping people working. Now, obviously, you can have that debate about, whether they should be working, social distancing, whatever. Miss me with that right now. What matters is individuals are out there, they're working, they're doing something good for the community, and I guess in a way, they're also kind of possibly putting their health at risk and putting it on the line. And I think that kind of leadership comes from the top and kind of matriculates down to the employees. If you have a strong leader, somebody who's willing to put themselves out there and lead by example, then it kind of carries down to the employees as well, where they're willing to say, hey, I know that they're saying, close non-essential businesses, this and that, but we're out here doing the greater good. I'm not somebody who necessarily thinks that you have to. I would never think that a business has to, or athletes who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars should be out there leading more by example, and you can name a few that aren't at this point. But again, I'm never somebody who would try to insist that they do it. And that's because I would have to be leading by example as well myself. You can't ask of others what you aren't doing yourself. which ties back to Mr. Butters there. He's putting himself out there on the line, and his employees, seeing a strong leader, definitely following suit. That comes within, right? That's within them as well. It's not just Chad, it has to come within the individual itself. And my feeling is probably when you have a tighter knit community or a smaller company where everybody's kind of fully invested in each other's growth as individuals, financially, spiritually, mentally, however you want to put that, that they're more likely to come together and sacrifice in times like this. We heard a couple other examples, and I think that once this story breaks and kind of catches more fire and starts to get around the US more, which it will, you're going to see more and more companies start to step up and do this if they're able to, if they have the capacity. And something I also heard in relation to this, maybe they discussed it a little bit later on in the article, but they have a chemist on staff, or they brought this individual in. I wasn't sure in terms of that, but they have this chemist there who's helping them make sure that they get this thing done properly so they don't run into any regulatory issues. So like I was saying, I would think once other companies start to see this happening, they're going to go ahead and step up as well. It takes kind of like a pioneer individual to have this kind of mindset to do this. Obviously, I've never worked in a distillery. I would have never thought to do this, but they thought to do it. It's definitely kind of like a thing where you got to be a first mover and get other individuals motivated or involved in the process to say, hey, if you can do this, if you can help, here's how. Great story. Just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention in case you haven't seen it. It's definitely something that is a good thing. It's nice to have some great positive news out there since everything's always so negative on the news for the most part. We're always hearing the bad aspects of it, but it's nice to see individuals out there kind of pulling together and doing their small part to try to look out for their community and individuals and businesses and organizations that might be in need. Credit to Eight Oaks for that. Hats off to you guys. Keep doing it. And to other businesses, hopefully they follow suit. And the same would be true of individuals, right? If you have the ability to do something to help, then I would hope you can. Not all of us have the means and the ability to do things, but the time has come. You're going to see a lot of individuals stepping up where you wouldn't think they would, or you wouldn't think the need would be there, or that they'd be able to do so. But we're going to start seeing it more and more, hopefully, as this thing kind of carries on a little bit. But thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Be safe out there, everybody, and take care of yourself and take care of your community, your family, your loved ones.